Hare Krishna, everybody. Welcome back to another session of Bhagavad Gita. We will start with prayers. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto my spiritual master, who with the torchlight of knowledge has opened my eyes, which were blinded by the darkness of ignorance. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. My dear Lord, and the spiritual energy of the Lord, kindly engage me in your service. I am now embarrassed with this material service. Please engage me in your service. Today, we will be seeing, in continuation of what we have been discussing previously, how to become a sage of steady mind. Up until now, Krishna has defined who is a sage of steady mind, and today we will see the how. Text number 57 of Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 says, in the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor despising it, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. Now, unaffected by good or evil. One may think one is a stone. Only stones don't have any feelings and emotions. Rather, the focus here is if one is fixed on one's goals, then one can transcend the so-called good and evil. Recently, I was confiding in one of my friends that I have a problem. My problem is I cannot buy things. Why? Because growing up in childhood, I never bought things. Somebody bought things for me always, always, always. And today I have a problem. I cannot buy things. I don't have the confidence to buy things. I save a lot of money, but then I don't have the confidence. That's my problem. And she said, if you fix your mind on the goal, then you can transcend the problem. And I was reading this particular verse, and I was thinking she was telling me what's in Bhagavad Gita, and which is true. If I go back and look at my previous experiences, whenever I had a goal, I was able to transcend the problem. And whenever I didn't have a goal in life, then I succumb to the problem. What else helps? Knowledge that material world is a place of duality helps. How do I build that knowledge? If I have a practice of reading Bhagavad Gita every day, then if I keep reading and reading and reading, something sticks. And that knowledge may help me on the spur of that moment to understand that, okay, this is a place of duality. What else helps? Observation that there is summer and winter, there is heat and cold, there is opulence and there is poverty. There are two phenomena in this world that we see. So this world is a world of duality. Next verse, Krishna speaks. Krishna is saying, one who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects as the tortoise draws its limbs within the shell is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness. Krishna is giving an example of the tortoise. Tortoise can wind up its senses or exhibits its senses whenever it wants for a particular purpose. Similarly, Krishna is saying a Krishna conscious person uses his senses for a particular purpose of serving Krishna only. And when there is no service, the senses are withdrawn. That's how a Krishna conscious person acts in this world. We'll take it further to a next level and make it a little practical. I'm going to use the agile model of software industry to make this practical. The very first step to build a software is one does requirement gathering. So if the requirement is I have to build a request form, people come in, request something, and then go from there. If I want to apply this in my life, to apply Bhagavad Gita, I can say, oh, what's my requirement? I want to control my senses. Okay, next step, planning. How do I do it? In the software industry, if I have to build a request form, I'll say, oh, what are the different kinds of input that the user will provide me? And what is the output that the user will see? Now, if I have to plan to control my senses, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, eat only prasadam. Resources. Third step is, if I have to write a code, I want to produce a request form, I need resources. And one of the very important resource one should always build in the software industry is said, one should have a go-to person, somebody experienced who has dealt with many, many projects. He's a scrum master. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says one should have a role model. So somebody who has already perfected their senses, one can look up to that person, go to that person, express one's problem, get the solution. Step number 4, do's. In the software industry, there are coding standards, and the project manager says, hey, you need to follow the coding standards. Do's. If I want to control my senses, I want to eat only prasadam, I need to learn how to cook for Krishna. Next step is do nots. The project manager says, hey, write good code, avoid a code that will produce error. Do nots. One can learn, oh, what is something that I should not use when I am cooking for Krishna. Next step, measure. Once I have done this cycle for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in my software agile model, I go and assess my work. Oh, I said I will do this much of work in this much of time. How well did I do? Assess. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says introspect. One has to introspect. Okay, for a month, I have been eating only prasadam. How do I feel? The next step is realign. Whatever I couldn't do better, let me see how I can do better. And what I did better, let me keep going. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, oh, you feel good, do more of it. Why not? So that's a little strategy that I came up with for myself to become a sage of steady mind. And I wanted to share with all of you. Thank you all for watching. Hare Krishna. Have a great evening.